I believe in roller coasters. If you were to ask me how I learned the most valuable life lesson I've picked up in my childhood, I would simply respond, a roller coaster. That's right, it wasn't an inspirational quote or a family member's old stories, it was a roller coaster. When I was younger, my family would somewhat frequently visit Kings Island, a large amusement park just outside Cincinnati, Ohio, full of world-class roller coasters. But I wouldn't ride any of them except for one. The Flying Ace Aerial Chase, a small kiddie coaster, was located in the vast kids section of the park, all themed to the Peanuts gang, and I loved it. I would go on the Flying Ace a dozen times every time we went to Kings Island, and I wouldn't leave the safe confines of Planet Snoopy the entire day. My mom would stay with me, and I figured she felt the same as me, that the big roller coasters were too scary, so the kids' rides were perfect. But that all changed when I was 9 years old. My entire family was in Cincinnati for my cousin's wedding, and we decided that we can spend some quality time together by visiting Kings Island the next day. I hadn't been in a few years, but I knew one thing for sure. Roller coasters were still terrifying. We got to the park, and I started making my way towards Planet Snoopy with my mom and a few of my cousins who also didn't like roller coasters. We rode a few kiddie rides and finally made it to my old friend, the Flying Ace Aerial Chase. I was ready to ride it all day long, but riding it this time led me to a deep realization about my childhood. We rode it, but it wasn't the same. The swooping turns felt more like we were being thrashed around in a miniature death trap. Nothing was how I remembered it. But the ride itself hadn't changed one bit. As I got older and grew, I realized that the ride was not very fun or exciting at all. And not only that, it was downright painful. So I started thinking, if the Flying Ace Aerial Chase was so painful, then why had my mom ridden it so many times with me? Why would she endure so much pain non-stop, riding a terrible ride in a park full of incredible roller coasters? Then it dawned on me. My mom didn't like riding the Flying Ace at all, and she would have much rather ridden anything else at the park. My mom would ride it for me. She loved me so much that she would miss out on all the fun the rest of my family was having just so I could have a good time. Those are experiences that she may never get to have, and she passed on them to spend the day with me in Planet Snoopy. That was a day I will never forget. It made me realize how incredible my family's love for me is. Since then, I have always made sure to put my family first and to always be flexible because, as I learned, there are times when others don't want to do the same thing as you and you must make sacrifices. It may have taken a very rough roller coaster to help me realize these things, but they are surely things I will never forget.